All right, now it's time for World Voices. Okay, please take out your textbook. Make sure you have your pencil and your eraser ready. Okay, please open to page 20 and 21. All right, let's get started. Okay, now the first one is a culture note, getting around. Please read with me. In your country, how do students usually get to school? How do they get around to different places? Do they ride a bicycle, drive, or take a bus or a train? Make a list. Pause the video and write your list down here. Then let's compare our list together. Press play when you're ready. Okay, here's my list. How many do we have the same? I said ride a bicycle, take the train or subway, take a bus, walk, go by foot, or drive, go by car. How about you? Did you have the same ones? Did you have anything different? All right, the next part is going to be speaking practice, a pair work dictation. All right, so with a partner, student A turn to page 80 and student B turn to page 99. So we are going to just start with student A, so everyone please turn to page 80. Okay, on page 80, Unit 3, Pair Work and Dictation, Student A. Speaking and listening. You go first. Read the first sentence to your partner, then listen to your partner and write down the sentence. Take turns. Please read for A, and I'll be reading for B. So please listen and write down my replies on 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. Please take a note that they do not match at this time. Okay, please write down what you hear. Let's get started. Okay, please repeat after me. Number 1, where do you work? 2, I work at a restaurant downtown. 3, how do you get to school? 4, what time do you usually get to school? 5, I go to the library to study, then I go to soccer practice. 6, I usually take a bus, but sometimes I walk. 7, what time does the afternoon class start? 8, what do you usually do after school? 9, I usually get to school at 8:30. 10, it starts at 1:50. 11, okay? Play the video back if you need to listen again. Press pause to write and press play when you're finished with your answers. Okay? Your answers should look like this. Okay, please repeat after me. 2, I work at a restaurant downtown. 4, what time do you usually get to school? 6, I usually take a bus, but sometimes I walk. 8, what do you usually do after school? And 10, it starts at 1:50. All right, now looking at your questions and answers here from 1 through 10, need to work on the grammar part in part 2. Now match each question to its answer. Okay? 1, 3, 4, 7, and 8. Press pause and come back with your answers, okay? Your answers should be 1 and 2, 3 and 6, 4 and 9, 7 and 10, 8 and 5. Okay, now using your answer sheet, let's ask and answer the questions. Okay? 1. Where do you work? 2. I work at a restaurant downtown. 3. How do you get to school? 6. I usually take a bus, but sometimes I walk. 4. What time do you usually get to school? 9. I usually get to school at 8:30. 7. What time does the afternoon class start? 10. It starts at 1:50. 8. What do you usually do after school? 5. I go to the library to study, then I go to soccer practice. Okay, great job, everyone. Okay, now listening, short conversation, pre-listening. Look at the questions below. Write part of the answer. For example, what time does she work on Fridays? On Fridays, she works from... Okay, let's take a look at the questions. Okay, what part of the answer can we write first? What time does she work on Fridays? On Fridays, she works from... What does she want? She wants to. What school team is she on? She's on. When does she have practice? She has practice on. What time does she want to start work? She wants to start work at. What does the man say? He says, okay. Now, let's go on to part 2. All right, I'm going to read a short conversation. Please listen along and write down your answers here. Okay? Okay, so I'm going to read you the dialogue. This is part A, this is Alice, and this is part B, this is Robert. Okay? Please write down the questions on your paper from before. So let's get started. Hi, Robert. Can I talk to you?
Yeah, sure.
Well, on Fridays, I work from 4:30 to 10:30.
Yes.
Well, can I change the time?
Change the time?
Yes, may I start work at 5 o'clock?
At 5?
Yes, I'm on the school basketball team and I have basketball practice after school on Friday.
Okay.
So can I work from 5 to 11?
5 to 11? Okay, sure.
Okay, let's check your answers. What time does she work on Fridays? On Fridays, she works from 4:30 to 10:30. What does she want? She wants to change her working time. What school team is she on? She's on the basketball team. When does she have practice? She has practice on Fridays. What time does she want to start work? She wants to start at 5 o'clock. What does the man say? Okay, sure. Did you get them all correct? If there were some you were missing, please take a look at the conversation and read through it again. Hi, Robert. Can I talk to you?
Yeah, sure.
Well, on Fridays, I work from 4:30 to 10:30.
Yes.
Well, can I change the time?
Change the time?
Yes. May I start work at 5 o'clock?
At 5?
Yes. I'm on the school basketball team and I have basketball practice after school on Friday.
Okay.
So can I work from 5 to 11?
5 to 11? Okay, sure.
Okay. Part G. Speaking practice, conversation. Okay, please repeat after me. Excuse me, Miss Chang? Yes? I have a dental appointment this afternoon. A dental appointment? Yes. So may I leave class 10 minutes early today? 10 minutes early? Sure. Okay, let's try it together. I'll read for A, please read for B. Here we go. Excuse me, Miss Chang? I have a dental appointment this afternoon. Yes, so may I leave class 10 minutes early today? Okay, let's read it again, but reverse our parts. Please read for A, and I'll read for B. Okay, ready, go. Yes. A dental appointment? "10 minutes early? Sure." Okay, we're going to try speaking again, but this time fill in the blank with one of these answers. Okay, let's read through them quickly. For choices for 1, Mr. Garcia, Miss Cook, Mr. Lee. Choice 2, doctor's appointment, job interview, soccer practice. Choice 3, can I, may I, can I? Choice 4, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 5 minutes. Okay. I'm going to read for A, please read for B. Excuse me, Mr. Garcia. I have a job interview this afternoon. Yes, so can I leave class 15 minutes early today? Okay, did you catch which ones I changed? I changed this to Mr. Garcia. I changed this to job interview. I changed this to can I? And I changed this to 15 minutes. Okay? All right, good job. All right, listening. Focus on natural English. Preparation. Vowel sounds can be weak. Okay, here's the notice. How do you get to school? Okay. How do you get to school? Please repeat after me. How do you get to school? All right, part 1, listening. Listen, write the missing words. Okay, number 1. What time do you go to school? What time do you go to school? Number 2. What do you usually have for lunch? What do you usually have for lunch? 3. When do you go home? When do you go home? 4. What is your part-time job? What is your part-time job? 5. How do you spell your name? How do you spell your name? Okay. Part 2, listening. Listen, write the missing words. A. What do you usually eat for breakfast? B. I don't usually eat breakfast. A. You don't eat breakfast? Why not? B. I'm always late. I don't have time for breakfast. Okay, let's read it again. One more time, part 2. What do you usually eat for breakfast? I don't usually eat breakfast. You don't eat breakfast? Why not? I'm always late. I don't have time for breakfast. Okay, pause the video and come back with your answers. Okay, let's check your answers. Part 1. Please repeat after me. What time do you go to school? What do you usually have for lunch? When do you go home? What is your part-time job? How do you spell your name? Okay, part 2. What do you usually eat for breakfast? I don't usually eat breakfast. You don't eat breakfast? Why not? I'm always late. I don't have time for breakfast. Okay, next we're going to work on part I. Okay, speaking practice. Work with a partner. Student A, that's you, turn to page 82. Okay? Page 82. Okay? All right, on page 82. Speaking and listening. Work with a partner. Ask your partner questions. Write down the missing information. Okay? So let's talk about the ones we already have the answers for. A. What do you think this is? What time does she wake up? She wakes up at 7 o'clock. What time does she get up? She gets up at 7:05. What time does she read the news? What time does she have coffee? What time does she eat breakfast? She eats breakfast at 7:45. What time does she take a shower? What time does she leave her home? She leaves her home at 8:45. What time does she get to school? What time does she start class? She starts class at 10 o'clock. What time does she eat lunch? What time does she leave school? What time does she start work? She starts work at 5:30. Okay? Now you're going to ask me the questions for the missing picture answers. All right? Let's start with C. Please ask me. Okay, she reads the news at 7:10. She reads the news at 7:10. Please ask me. She has her coffee at 7:15. She has her coffee at 7:15. Please ask me. She takes a shower at 8:15. She takes a shower at 8:15. Please ask me. She gets to school at 9:20. She gets to school at 9:20. Okay, please ask me. She eats lunch at 1 o'clock. She eats lunch at 1 o'clock. Okay, last one. Please ask me. She leaves school at 4 o'clock. She leaves school at 4 o'clock. Okay? Your answers should look like this. Okay? Mariana's daily life looks like this. She wakes up at 7 o'clock. She gets up at 7:05. She reads the news at 7:10. She has her coffee at 7:15. She eats her breakfast at 7:45. She takes a shower at 8:15. She leaves her house at 8:45. She gets to school at 9:20. She starts class at 10 o'clock. She eats lunch at 1 o'clock. She leaves school at 4 o'clock. And she starts work at 5:30. All right, and the last one, part J, speaking practice, mini talks. Work with a partner. Student A, please turn to page 81. Please turn to page 81. Okay, please read along with me. Van lives in Hanoi, Vietnam. On school days, Van rides his bicycle to school. He rides to school with his father because his father is a teacher at his school. There are many cars, scooters, and bicycles on the road, so he's very careful. After school, he works in his mother's shop. Okay, now with your help, I need to answer the questions of the missing information. So, Van lives in Hanoi, Vietnam. On days, that's right, school days. Van rides his bicycle to school. He rides to school with his father. Because his father is a teacher at his school. There are many cars, scooters, and bicycles on the road. So he is very careful. After school, he works in his mother's shop. Now, please turn to page 99. So you would have been on there to answer this one. Now we're going to read this part out loud. Okay? About Samira. Okay, let's read together. Samira lives in Accra in Ghana. Accra is the capital city of Ghana. She is a student. Every day she gets up early. She has breakfast with her family. Then she goes to school. She takes a bus. After school, she goes home and does her homework. Sometimes she makes dinner for her family. Okay, we flip back to page 81 and we will answer the missing part. Okay, so Samira lives in Accra in Ghana. Accra is the capital city in Ghana. She is a student. Every day she gets up early. She has breakfast with her family. Then she goes to school. She takes a bus. After school, she goes home and does her homework. Sometimes she makes dinner for her family. Okay, great job, everyone.